off a daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit a buy, he gon' lie before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor, good as it gets. Build a few liners and hit me a leg. He had a good game, but it might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS Sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Hey, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host, the DFS Bachelor, and it's very, very late on a Saturday night after a very frustrating MMA slate tonight with the fight postponements right before a lock and then during the show, a guy passing out. But the DFS world continues, so we're going to go over tomorrow's Sunday, August 2nd, Fanduel and Draftkings NBA slate. It's a 6-game slate. Starts at 11 o'clock Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern, so about 12 hours from now. Normally, I wouldn't stay up this late and do this on the weekends, but you know what? It's been a weird year, so I'm going to do my best to make everything as positive for all of you as I possibly can. And some people love to hate me, too, so maybe they can turn it on and say, hey, look at that idiot. He looks like he aged 10 years, and rock and roll with that as well. First things first, thank you all so much for all your support. After so many months off from all the sports, we did a little bit of esports, etc. You wonder, hey, is everyone even going to want to care about what the hell I have to say? And your overwhelming positive response has been truly humbling. So thank you all from the bottom of my heart so much. If you are new to the channel, welcome to the team. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Get access to all of our content. Dion and I even did a WNBA video for tomorrow, so be sure to check that out as well. Also, by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment in the comment section below, you qualify for our weekly PayPal giveaway. I will announce that during Monday's NBA video, and on Monday morning, I will have an MLB video. Haven't really had a chance to do MLB over the weekend. It's just been so fluid. I was wondering if we were even going to continue having a baseball season. So I know it seems a little sporadic with the baseball thing, but getting all the content in that we possibly can. Of course, when NFL starts, NFL videos will be all the time. And I'll also be covering NFL handicapping, where we break down the games, winners or losers against the spread, at sportsbookreview.com this year with my guy, Donnie Seymour. It's going to be a beautiful show. If you're betting anything, soccer, boxing, baseball, Korean baseball, it doesn't matter what it is, sportsbookreview.com is the place to be, and I'm very proud to be a part of that team this fall as well, so be sure to check them out. Also, check out overlaydfs.com. Look, even tonight, my overlay lineup finished one pick away from finishing in the top 10% and winning 10 times my money. But I still beat their promo code score and was able to double my money. You don't have to be perfect. Overlaydfs.com. It's a lot of fun. Be sure to hit them up on the Twitter sphere. Ask them about their first deposit bonus. Enter promo code DFS Bachelor. Lots of cool stuff. I might have to see about getting myself in there. If you beat my score, you win a bonus too, because I just like that whole idea. Also, if you want my entire player pool, my research, my projections for MLB, NBA, NHL. Our player pool was absolutely on fire tonight. My NBA and MLB player pools were great tonight too. We've been on a very nice roll, and just the research tools there save you so much time. You can click that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. When you do, you get my player pool. At the end of this video, we'll make a sample lineup. I'll show you how to find my player pool. I always make sure it's updated right before lock for every single sport. A big cheers to you all again. Seriously, I hope you all had a great night. Thank you all so much for the support. It's literally midnight on the West Coast. We've been grinding all the sports since about 5 this morning. So a big cheers, and let's get through this. Also, you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. Any news, updates, anything that's important that I find beforehand. I missed the WNBA news today. I was busy. I had some company coming over, but nonetheless, everything we can possibly get is up there. So let's start at point guard. again, right now it's kind of an early top 5, top 6. I'll try to break down as much as I can. Uh, at point guard, right at the top, finally FanDuel put Luka Doncic back where he belongs at point guard. He's 10-8 on FanDuel and on DraftKings. Now, his last game against Phoenix was only a 30, but his previous 3 were a 50, a 62, and a 70. He came out, played 42 minutes against Houston in that overtime game. We had a couple overtime games that first slate, so you're going to see some bloated totals in those previous things. But I don't know if you can see it on your screen. I have this huge monitor I got to do these shows, but for some reason I can't get it all to fit on the screen and me be able to see it. Could just be my age and I need glasses. Who knows? But the hit percentage over here on NBA, it tells you what percentage of the time at that price on both sites they hit 5 times value. It's really, really helpful. He hits value 59 and 66% of the time. He's 10-8 on both sides. Phoenix is 24th against opposing point guards. I like Luka, of course. Tomorrow, right below that, Russell Westbrook played like a beast. Started slow, came on fast. Sounds like a title of my sex tape. You know, it's kind of like my love life, a book of short stories. There you go. He's 9-9 on FanDuel, 9-8 on DraftKings. Milwaukee is going to be without Eric Bledsoe tomorrow. He's a terrific perimeter defender. Russell Westbrook should have his way. Played 43 minutes that first game. Showed no ill effects from all the COVID stuff. His last 3 games against Milwaukee, a 60, a 56, and a 47. I like Russell Westbrook quite a bit. I don't mind De'Aaron Fox. That's one that I just simply missed on. And his last 2 games against Orlando, a 58 and a 41. I was shocked that he played 37 minutes. He put up a 55. I like scoring guards. I like talented guards against Orlando, even though they're 5th against point guards. I don't mind that. John Morant, I think, is a bit overpriced. I know he had a good game 1. Again, we're talking an overtime game where he played 40 minutes and got a 45. I just think he's a bit overpriced. I do like Ricky Rubio, 6'3 on FanDuel. Now, this slate, you're going to notice the pricing on DraftKings is much stiffer. It's a lot tougher to find value on DraftKings than it is on FanDuel. Ricky Rubio, 6'3 on FanDuel. I think that's a great play. 40, a 35, and a 29 his last 3 against Dallas. On DraftKings, he's 7'2". So that's a little bit more dicey for me, but I like the play on FanDuel. I do like some Spurs guards. I'm not sure I'll go to Dejounte Murray. I think I might join the rest of the crowd and go with Derek White. But let's talk about Kemba Walker. 5'4 on FanDuel. Now he's all the way up at 6'9 on DraftKings. Not playing him on DraftKings. He played 19 minutes the first game. They did announce today that they are going to be gradually ramping up his minutes limit. So you could see about 25 to 27 minutes tomorrow. Let's say 23 to 27 minutes tomorrow for Kemba Walker against a Portland team that's 19th against opposing point guards. 34, 55, 32, 25 in his last 4 against Portland. There's no way I'm paying $7K for him, 6'9 on DraftKings. But that 5'4 price on FanDuel seems a bit too cheap. I could certainly go there. Here's the thing with the Washington point guards. I love the matchup. Like, Brooklyn has nobody who can defend in the backcourt. You know, Chris Chiosa and the rest of the garbage there on that, you know, basic G League roster that Brooklyn is fielding for this pandemic, after the pandemic. But Ish Smith and Shabazz Napier are going to split the minutes. You can see they each played 26 minutes. So how much can you trust them? I do like Ish Smith's price on DraftKings at $3,800. Like, Napier is 5'3 FanDuel, 5'4 DraftKings, and you got Ish Smith 5K FanDuel, but $3,800 DraftKings. He'll still see about 25 minutes. I could certainly go there on DraftKings. Definitely not on FanDuel. DeAnthony Melton, with Tyus Jones out, he's going to be the number 2 point guard. He's going to play close to 30 minutes a night. He's got big upside. San Antonio is terrible defensively, which I know is weird to hear. And what's also weird is San Antonio doesn't play at this snail's pace that they have in years past. Still pays down for Memphis, of course. Memphis is one of the faster teams in the league. But at 4-5 on FanDuel, 4 on DraftKings, I don't mind DeAnthony Melton. DJ Augustine is going to start. There's sort of gradually working Markelle Fultz into the swing of things. So he's 4-1 on FanDuel, 4-2 on DraftKings. Sacramento, again, slower than in years past. Kind of a pace down game. but I suppose I don't mind that. But what about Trey Burke against Phoenix? He came out and played 30 minutes against Houston. Now, I do think that's a little bit matchup driven. Houston is such a small team. They just, Russell Westbrook oftentimes is playing center, or PJ Tucker. This is going to be a different beast with, DeAndre Ayton, Aaron Baines, Frank Kaminsky, etc. But Trey Burke in 29 minutes put up a 44. I do think he's going to be a little bit more popular than he should be. But when you have 40-point upside at 4K and 3.8 on DraftKings, you have to consider him. Some other value guards, George Hill. Again, no Eric Bledsoe. So he should see plenty of minutes. And again, this is a game against Houston. So we just saw what happened in the last game with Houston. I think George Hill, 3.8 on Fanduel, 3.9 on DraftKings. I think he could certainly hit value. Brad Wanamaker got more minutes than we expected. Now, I would expect those to go down now that Kemba Walker's minutes are going to go back up. So I don't think I'm jumping on the Brad Wanamaker train. We'll have to see. There's so many, we got to see. Is Patty Mills going to play? We'll have to see. That will change things for Derek White, etc. Where the hell is Derek White? I wanted to talk about him. They might have him at shooting guard on FanDuel. I'll have to check that. So I think that's about it. Maybe some Cameron Payne if you want for Phoenix. Phoenix is going to roll out some of their young players. So I suppose, Cameron Payne's bounced all over the league, Chicago and Oklahoma City, other places. They might give him a few minutes. It really just depends on the score. I don't like to predict blowouts, etc. I wish I could have avoided the blowouts today because I would have had even a better day NBA-wise, but it is what it is. That's how it rolls. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. I actually had a good day today in NBA. It could have been a lot better. Started out great. Chris Paul, Jimmy Butler really showed up. Jay Crowder was solid. Jokic was okay. Some good plays for us. As shooting guard, James Harden's in play every slate. Now, look, in that overtime game, he played 43 minutes. He put up an 89. I think that Giannis outscores Harden tomorrow. It's just a better matchup. Even with Bledsoe out, there's Chris Middleton and everyone else on the wing for Milwaukee. They're a longer, better defensive team than Houston is. Milwaukee is 6th against opposing shooting guards. His last 5 games against Milwaukee, he's had one game over 60. He got a 64, which is what you're looking for at 10-9 and 11-1. The other games were a 46, a 51, a 48, and a 47, but he's still in play because of his upside. Of course, you got Luka there, who, it's interesting, he showed up on the point guard screen for FanDuel. You were right in the middle of kind of the transition between today and tomorrow, so there could be some weirdness there, but of course, Luka's in play. Devin Booker against Dallas. Look, played 35 minutes, which was encouraging for me. Dallas is 10th against opposing shooting guards, 36 and a 58 in his last 2. I don't mind Darren Booker. I do like Karis LeVert. I know he let a lot of people down, but this is a different matchup. He was playing against Orlando the last game, much better defensive team than Washington. He's 7-8 on both sides. They're 24th against opposing shooting guards. He put up a 63 his last game out against Washington. Has some slight exposure to CJ McCollum. Chris Middleton, 6'9 on FanDuel. Without Eric Bledsoe, he's going to have extra usage. And again, this is against Houston. Houston allows the second most fantasy points in the league to opposing shooting guards. He's 7-8 on DraftKings. I think that's a bit high, but I'm not going to say you're an idiot for playing him there. He's hit value 58% of the time at 6'9 on FanDuel, and he's hit value 53% of the time at that price on DraftKings. This is going to be a high-scoring, competitive game. Can't wait to watch this game tomorrow. I like Chris Middleton quite a bit. As we scroll down, I was encouraged by what I saw out of Dylan Brooks against San Antonio, who's 25th against shooting guards. I could certainly go there. Bogdanovich at 5'2". Dante DiVincenzo played 26 minutes. He's 4'7 and 5'6". I don't think I can go there. What about Lonnie Walker when we get down to this value? 4-4 on FanDuel. 3-5 on DraftKings, played 32 minutes. If Patty Mills is going to be out again, even if he plays, Lonnie Walker has proven to be a very vital part of that rotation. He played 32 minutes their first game back, put up a 24. He's 4-4 and 3-5. I don't mind Lonnie Walker. Timothy Luau-Cabarro, I mean, this is a player that I took off of the cheat sheet, left in my player pool. Played 21 minutes, put up a 32. It's high risk, high reward. Again, Washington, not a very good defense, and Brooklyn has no roster at all. So these kinds of players are going to see minutes. Garrett Temple was a massive letdown. Gary Trent's going to see some minutes. Wesley Matthews. Sterling Brown saw 22 minutes off the bench. I think that's encouraging for him, and that's about it. I'm just trying to mention, tomorrow's kind of a weird slate. So I just want to mention guys that, are going to play. And again, I haven't added everyone to my player pool yet. It will be updated. I'll show you where the timestamp is that shows that update, etc. at the end of the video. Quick cheers. If you guys don't mind, I'm going to have a quick sip of beer so that my voice doesn't go away. So much talking, and it's so late, and damn, we're almost to midnight. Threat Level Midnight, for those of you who love The Office. I absolutely love that show. So you got Giannis at the top against Houston. And again, him and Harden are very close in price. I am going to say I'm probably going to have lineups with both of them in. I think there's plenty of value to find for that. But I think Giannis outscores Harden tomorrow. That's going to be my bold prediction. I just think it's a better matchup. Houston is such a small team. Giannis can absolutely dominate that team. He's 11-2 on Fanduel, 11K on DraftKings. Put up a 69 in 32 minutes in that first game back against Boston. His last 5 games against Houston, 3 of them over a 55. 2 of his last 3 over 60, and then his 2 worst games were 43 and 43. I just don't know who they have that can stop Giannis. Is it going to be Robert Covington, Daniel House, Jeff Green? I'm waiting. PJ Tucker. Are they going to throw PJ Tucker on Giannis and just let Brook Lopez roam the paint with nobody of any size on him whatsoever? Going to be very interesting to see how Houston approaches this game. I like Giannis. I like both Gordon Hayward and Jaylen Brown against Portland. Portland's 27th against opposing shooting guards and 12th against opposing small forwards. Jaylen Brown has a little bit better of a history in his recent memory, but I think Gordon Hayward has the higher upside. So I like them both at 6'4" and 6'2". They're 7-1 and 7K on DraftKings. The pricing on DraftKings is very, very tough tomorrow. That's why I like a guy like Ish Smith we talked about at 3.9. It could be sort of the value way you have to go, especially in cash games. Evan Fournier, nice return back, 24 minutes, put up a 35. Sacramento 19th against shooting guards. He's 5'5 and 5'9. I can certainly go there. You can see at Jaylen Brown's price on FanDuel at 6'2", he's hit value 74% of the time. I don't know if you can see that on your screen, but if you click that link and try Draft Dashboard, 30 days for $1, that stat's up there as well. There's all sorts of research stats that really cut your research time in half. Then we kind of get to some players I'm just Michael Bridges, I could see without Kelly Oubre. He put up a 33 his last time out against Dallas. He's 5'1 and 5'3. It's a bit expensive for him, but I don't mind Michael Bridges. Dallas 23rd against opposing small forwards. Now to the value. Carmelo Anthony. Now he put up a 30 in 37 minutes. Remember, that was a overtime or double overtime game. Shit ton of minutes everybody played. But he's 4'9 on FanDuel. I have no problem with that. 5'8 on DraftKings, I'll pass. Boston 16th against small forwards. Troy Brown has decent upside. I like he's one of the few players who are cheaper on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel at 4-5. Brooklyn 14th against small forwards. He played 26 minutes in the first game back from the restart. Rudy Gay, little revenge game against his former team in Memphis. 4-7 on FanDuel. I like that price. He played 26 minutes the first game back. Look, without LaMarcus Aldridge, we're going to see a little bit more Rudy Gay than we did before the league stopped. Now he's 5'3 on DraftKings. That's a little iffy for me. I think I'll go Kent Bazemore at 4-4 right below that. Again, you can see the difference on the two sites. So on FanDuel, Rudy Gay is 4'7 and Kent Bazemore is 4'6. On DraftKings, Rudy Gay is 5'3, Kent Bazemore is 4'8. They're going to play similar minutes. I do think there's more tools in the toolbox for Rudy Gay to get fantasy points, steals, rebounds, assists. Kent Bazemore is very scoring dependent, but I don't mind them for value. Harrison Barnes, all the way down here at 4,400 on FanDuel. Lock that in against Orlando, even though he does struggle a little bit, and Jonathan Isaac is going to start playing more minutes, who's right there at 4,400 as well. Played 16 minutes in game one, put up a 26. Now, Isaac's 5'8 on DraftKings. I'm not going there. That's stupid. But 4-4 on FanDuel, especially if they start to increase his minutes a little bit, even though Sacramento's number one so far in the league against small forwards. I mean, he's a guy with 50-point upside. He's done it this year, and he's at 4-4. If they take his minutes from 16 to, maybe 20, 22 minutes, trying to make a playoff push, I like Jonathan Isaac and Harrison Barnes quite a bit at that price on FanDuel. Now, if you're looking for minutes, he's not going to have a huge usage rate because of Westbrook and Harden. But Daniel House played 42 minutes in that overtime game. He put up a 33. He's 4-2 on FanDuel, 4-4 on DraftKings. Eric Gordon's still out. I like Daniel House quite a bit. I mean, guys who are going to see minutes down here, Josh Jackson will see a few. Kyle Anderson, who was a letdown in the first game. Mario Hazonia. Keldon Johnson. I mean, how about this? Popovich just threw him out there. He's 3-6 and 3K. He played 30 minutes in the first game back. You got to consider that. And that's about it. I guess James Ennis will see a few minutes as well. Let's go to power forward. At power forward, Kristaps. We talked about him in the first video. Said Houston had no chance at stopping any big man in the league. And I think that still rings true for Giannis and Brook Lopez. All he did was put up a 68. He's 9-6 on FanDuel, 9K on DraftKings. Phoenix is 10th against power forwards, but I still like Porzingis. Going to be a little bit tougher matchup size-wise with Phoenix because they just have some bigger players than Houston has. Jason Tatum, 8-2. Aaron Gordon still kind of battling a little bit through that injury. He played 26 minutes. I could maybe go to the 6-2 price on FanDuel. Definitely not the 7-5 on DraftKings. Rui Hachimura, I think, is too expensive, even though I always love to play big men against Brooklyn. Jaren Jackson. I got a bunch of grief. How can you trust him? Blah, blah, blah. He put up a 42 in 43 minutes. Did not get into foul trouble. The Spurs 21st against opposing power forwards. Now he's gone up in price. Now he's 5-9 on FanDuel as opposed to 4-7. You can see that high total, which is all here on Draft Dashboard. This Memphis-San Antonio total is 235.5 right now. The Houston-Milwaukee game's at 242.5. Love stacking both games. But I like Jaren Jackson. I just don't know who the Spurs have that's going to get Jaren Jackson into foul trouble. 43, 26, and 27 his last three. Jaren Jackson, he's 5-2 on DraftKings. He's one of the few players who are significantly cheaper. In fact, both he and Brandon Clark are 700 and 600 cheaper on DraftKings than they are on FanDuel. I like them both. They both played really well in that overtime game against Portland. But remember, it's going to be a different story. You can't expect your two power forwards to get you, 70 fucking 3 fantasy points. It's usually not going to happen. Rashawn Holmes, huge letdown. So he was 3-9 before the last slate on FanDuel. He goes out, he plays 23 minutes, he puts up a 17. Now all of a sudden, he's 5,200 on FanDuel. I think that's stupid as hell. I do like Daniel Tice. Portland has been the worst team in the league so far against power forwards and centers. Now they're going to be better now with the emergence of Yusuf Nurkic, who went absolutely bananas. Honestly, it was shocking to me how well he played. Then you're bringing Whiteside limited off the bench. I like Robert Covington, 5'9 on FanDuel, 6'4 on DraftKings. I worry about the Giannis matchup, but again, it's no guarantee that he's going to be covering Giannis. His last game out against Milwaukee, he put up a 36. Probably one of my favorite power forwards on the slate is Nemanja Bjelica. Alex Len is still going to be out tomorrow. So here's his last 5 games against Orlando. Now we have a 3 and a 3. Those were in limited minutes. But his last 3, I want to focus on these. A 39, then a 12, and then a 50. We got a hobbled Aaron Gordon. He's 4-7 FanDuel, 5-2 DraftKings. I think that Bjelica is a great play. Brandon Clark, for the record, 4-2 on DraftKings. That's entirely too cheap. Even if he only plays 20, 25 minutes off the bench, which is typically what he's been doing all season long. Again, that game went into overtime, and they didn't play Valanciunas very many minutes. He was struggling against Nurkic and got into foul trouble. So there are some outlying factors there. But still at 4,200 on DraftKings, I think Brandon Clark's a great play. Zach Collins played 36 minutes. 4-6 on FanDuel, I think is borderline. Just like Madonna would say, you just keep on pushing my love over the borderline. Anyways, I don't know why I did that, but cheers to you all. but he's 3,400 on DraftKings. Boston is fifth against power forwards. They're a good defensive team. As long as Marcus Smart is playing for that team and Brad Stevens is coaching that team, they're going to be a good defensive team. But 3,400 in a starting role at the 4 spot, you got to love Zach Collins on DraftKings. Dario Saric played 27 minutes off the bench. I'll play him on Fanduel, not on DraftKings. Maxi Kleber, 34 minutes in that outing. I'll do the 4-2 on Fanduel, not the 4-9 on DraftKings. Kim Birch put up 2 fantasy points per minute. I think that's an outlier. One value guy I do think is a wild card is Jeff Green. I do think Houston's going to need Jeff Green's size. He's one of the bigger players on Houston, if not the biggest player on Houston, besides Tyson Chandler, who doesn't see a minute. He's 3-8 on FanDuel, 3-5 on DraftKings. He played 19 minutes in that first game back. They're going to need people who not only can defend Giannis, but are going to make Giannis defend and get him away from the basket. Jeff Green's that perfect kind of player. In his last 5 games against Milwaukee, now his previous last 2 a 14 and a 3, but the 3 before that, a 30, a 32, and a 28. I think Jeff Green's a very interesting tournament play. I don't have a whole lot of issues going to him in tournaments at that price, especially considering the matchup. Let's go over to centers. So, Vooch started out hot. He only played 27 minutes. He didn't have to play a ton. Brooklyn is so bad. Sacramento is 7th against opposing centers, but I guess Rashawn Holmes is supposed to stop him. His last 3 games against Sacramento, a 53, a 43, and a 44. He's 8-1 FanDuel, 8-7 DraftKings. Lock and load, like Vooch, quite a bit. DeAndre Ayton against Dallas. Dallas doesn't have a center. Now, it could be interesting to watch him versus Porzingis. Put up a 51 his last time out against Dallas. A 48 in that first game back. We talked about him. We loved that play for the last slate. 8-1 and 8-5. I can certainly go there. Now, Nurkic. Look, so it's not like he played a ton of minutes. Now, he played 33 minutes, but again, that game was a double overtime game, I believe, or overtime. He put up a 56. It was his first game since, rupturing his Achilles, whatever the hell that damn injury was last year. I was shocked. Honestly, honest to God, it was probably the biggest surprise to me on the whole slate. He has had some good success against Boston, 34, 36, 39, and 24. I just don't think we see it again. I'm worried he's going to be a little bit sore. First game back, had such a huge game against a tough Boston defense. I'm going to pass on Nurk. Valanciunas only played 14 minutes. Now, again, this is another game that's going to be paced up. The thing that I thought was weird, I know he got into some foul trouble, but 14 minutes against Nurk and Whiteside, I don't know if you can trust him at 8K on DraftKings, 7-1 on FanDuel. That's a pass for me. Let's talk about Jared Allen. Played 26 minutes. He put up a 25 in that first game. He was going up against Orlando and one of the better front court defenses in the league in the Orlando Magic. This game, that is not the case. The Washington Wizards allow the 4th most fantasy points in the league to opposing centers. He's 6'5 on FanDuel, so you're kind of pushing it there. And 5'6 on DraftKings. Look at his last 4. Now, his most previous game against Washington, only a 14. Now, again, he was splitting minutes with DeAndre Jordan, etc. He's not there. Those previous 3 games without DeAndre Jordan there, 45, 31, and a 30. I like Jarrett Allen quite a bit. Jacob Poeltl played 31 minutes, put up a 31. He was one of our favorite value center plays in that opening slate for San Antonio. We talked about it in this video. Well, that 5.9 price on FanDuel is stupid. That's not going to happen. Don't do it. No thank you. That's silly. But he's $4,000 on DraftKings. That's a $1,900 difference on the 2 sites. He's a terrific play on DraftKings and a terrible play on FanDuel. Jacob Poeltl, great on DraftKings, terrible FanDuel. Memphis 14th against opposing centers. We saw what Nurk just did against Memphis. Even Whiteside's played 17 minutes, put up over a point per minute. It wouldn't shock me if Whiteside got a few more minutes this game. I'm probably not going to go there. I like Thomas Bryant. 5-4 on DraftKings. 5-4 on FanDuel, 4-8 on DraftKings. Played 33 minutes. Remember, he was hurt before the league stopped. Then he had the COVID situation. So it was kind of a big unknown what was going to happen with Washington at center. You thought maybe Jan Mahimi, maybe Mo Wagner. And we always say centers versus Brooklyn, centers versus Brooklyn, centers versus Brooklyn. Brooklyn allows the second most points to opposing centers. He's 5'4" and 4'8", played 33 minutes, put up a 29 in his last 3 games against Brooklyn, a 31, a 32, and that 15 when he was coming back from injury. I like Thomas Bryant quite a bit. Brook Lopez, 5-1 on Fanduel, 4-9 on DraftKings, a 33, a 23, and a 28 in his last 3 against Houston. He played 28 minutes in that first game back against Boston, put up a 38. He's still too cheap, and Houston has absolutely nobody who can get. He should get every rebound again, just like Porzingis did against. It's just too fucking easy. I like Brook Lopez quite a bit. If Aaron Baines misses, I don't mind going to some Frank Kaminsky for some value plays. Now let's go to some value centers. Look, PJ Tucker's listed as a center. He's 3-9 on FanDuel, 4-2 on DraftKings. He's not the most explosive fantasy player. But in 3 of his last 5 against Milwaukee, he has at least 26. His lowest outputs were both 17s. He played 39 minutes in that overtime game, his first game back, or in that game against Dallas. He's going to get a shit ton of minutes. So opportunity equals points. I can go PJ Tucker as well. Another thing that helps not only Mo Wagner and Jan Mahimi, but Thomas Bryant is that Jan Mahimi may not be able to play. He sat out the last game with a groin injury. We'll have to wait and see there. That's it for me right now. I think I broke that down more than I intended to, more than a top 5 at each position. But that's my look right now, 12 hours before or so the slate kicks off. Again, if you want access to this tool, my player pool, all the research tools for baseball, NHL, NFL, of course, when it starts, and, of course, my NBA player pool. You can click that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. When you do, how you find my player pool is you simply click on this Watch Players tab over here on the left. Those will be the players that you're watching, right? And right now, my player pool is at 29. It's going to be, of course, higher than that 6 games. It'll probably be around 45 or 50. You'll see a blue box at the top that says Watch DFS Bachelor's Picks. You can click that box. That'll show you all the players I have in my player pool. And it'll also show you in Eastern time when I last updated it, so you'll know how up to date it is. That some of you on the East Coast, you wake up at 7, it's 4 o'clock my time. I have not updated my player pool yet. So you'll look at it and be like, oh, he hasn't updated it yet. Check back, a little bit before. You'll see the updates. That's especially important in baseball. Every single day for your baseball lineups, I'm going through every verified starting lineup, adding every player who's playing, getting rid of every player who's not. I'm doing that from my phone in the car at stoplights and shit, like tonight with Tommy Lastea, I believe, and Chris Bryant. So that's a lot of fun, and it's not a glamorous job doing what we do. I know it seems like it, but it's not. So a big cheers to you for your support. The only reason I do that is the motivation you guys give me. But you click that box, you click Watch DFS Bachelor's Picks. You can use that player pool in the lineup optimizer, the mass lineup generator. You can generate 100 lineups if you want, import them into FanDuel and DraftKings. You can also use the late swap optimizer, which, let's say you have a late scratch, especially in baseball with all the COVID stuff going on. You can upload your lineups from FanDuel and from DraftKings, import them to Draft Dashboard, regenerate your lineups using my player pool without the missing players, without the player who's going to be out, and then import them back in. Can make cash game lineups as well. So, again, this is a very, very early lineup. This is a Luka and Giannis lineup. I don't mind that. Again, click the link. Try it for 30 days for $1. Compare my player pool to yours. Create your own lineups. Compare them to mine, etc. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate all the support. You guys hitting that like button is really helping the channel, so thank you so, so much for that. You qualify for our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. We'll announce that winner on Monday. Don't forget to check out Overlay DFS, overlaydfs.com. A lot of fun there. May the fantasy gods be with you all. Thank you all so, so much for all your support. And we will see you for our next video. I won't have a baseball video tomorrow for Sunday because it starts too early. So we'll see you Monday morning for our NBA video. We'll announce our PayPal winner. Monday night, we'll have our WNBA. Monday morning, I should also have an MLB. If the league is continuing on, we'll have to wait and see. Thank you all again so much. Goodbye, folks.